Before we get into today's episode of Daily Brightness, we just want to say a huge thank you to Shaw for helping bring our podcast to life.
Obviously, this is something that we've wanted to do for a while. Teaming up with Goalhanger was an absolute no-brainer for us. But I think it's more just probably to get our points out there.
I think like before, Rach, it's about bringing Daily Brightness to life. And I think when we first invented it, if you like, it was all about communicating with each other, having that safe space to kind of be a little bit vulnerable and just showing our raw, authentic selves. And I think for us, the podcast is that. And that's why I think we're extremely grateful for Shaw to give us that opportunity and kind of bringing it to life and allowing us to now, you know, have it on a wider spectrum and connecting with the fans again. But also some of the things in the women's game that really need to be better and the problems and boundaries that we still face. And I think as players, current players as well, we can really touch on that and, you know, hopefully bring a little bit of attention. But ultimately it's just about sharing who we are as people. And yeah, like I said, we're really, really grateful that Shaw have given us this opportunity and supported us since day one.
Obviously, it's been amazing that Shaw have backed us from the start and all the way through this now. But exciting to have them be alongside us for this exciting summer of football. And they'll be with us every step of the way. So we're grateful for them to be alongside us sharing this journey as well. So thanks again to Shaw and thank you all for tuning in.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Besties and Support Daily Brightness. I'm Millie Bright.
And I'm Rachel Daly.
How are you,
Mills?
Oh, I'm good. You're looking very tanned.
I know. I mean, it's been, just over a week now that I've been here, so you know I go a few shades darker.
I've put on my tinted moisturiser for you just so I looked similar.
No, it's so hot, honestly. Yesterday I was literally just lying there baking.
You tan so quick as well. That's the most annoying thing.
I know, it's ridiculous. I put like a different bikini on yesterday and it has, you know, it shows you all your other tan lines that you've not had. And I was like, I'm going to burn now.
But how was it? Like, did you get up to much?
Yeah, to be fair, quite a bit. I now think I'm going to be a professional golfer. So, you know me, get into something, get obsessed with it.
Hold yourself there. I'm about to start lessons for golf.
No way, same.
So why don't we could do one episode on the golf course.
That'd be sick.
Because I'm all power, I'm no precision.
All power, no finesse.
Yeah, I need to work on that. But I think I've got it in the locker. Got one hell of a drive on me.
Yeah, to be fair, it's something that, like, obviously, you know, I went into paddle, which I still love. But then it's like, there's something about golf that I just, like, really wanted to be good at. And, like, I love it. And obviously, I'm here right now where I am is, like, right on a golf course. So I've been playing a little bit and I'm like, oh, my God, this is amazing. I want to play golf all the time.
It is so therapeutic, though, isn't it?
It is. So I've been doing that.
You watch Daily Brightness.
Oh my God, you'll absolutely piss yourself at what I've been doing. I've gone to 2 spin classes, right? I literally am getting into like my legs, bums and tums era. The instructor's like, right, we're ready to climb. Get up, get out of your saddle. I've been having the time of my life with all these classes. I feel like I've missed out on so much. How are you? How is everything?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, the girls had like a week training just before international, which I think was really good. It was nice that was available because you know what it's like. You finish the season, you then have that week where you're like, what do you do? Where do you train? But we were fortunate enough that, you know, club provided sessions so that people could go onto camp and have got the correct loading and stuff. But to be honest, I just had a bit of a chill week. Needed a little rest from the season. And then I spent the weekend with my family, which was nice. I went back, seen the horses, which was lush. And that was about it. I've kind of like really switched off.
That's good. Family okay?
Yeah, they're all good. Boys are fine. Harvey now wants to start, I think kickboxing or boxing. He wants to get into that. So never know. And I did have, for the first time, which you'll know, this is like really important to me, we went and had a cooked dinner at Toria's, at my sister's. All of us together,
Love
like
that.
mum, dad, everyone, like we all had like a massive cooked dinner there, which I've never ever been able to do. So that was so nice. So we had that. Amy was poorly, so she didn't get to make it. Anyone listening, that's my other sister, a middle sister. And that was it. But yeah, family's all good. I think they're ready for a holiday as well.
Right, well, let's touch back on the weekend then. Obviously, Champions League final. I'm sure that was probably a tough weekend for you not being a part of that, but
yeah, I'm not gonna lie,
I didn't watch, I couldn't watch. So yeah, you'll maybe have to give us an update on the performances and what you thought, because I'd be intrigued to hear about it, to be honest, because I didn't watch, I couldn't watch it. Obviously it's a tough topic for me to communicate on, but what I will say is I think it's amazing for English football for it to be brought back. So yeah, I think that is amazing. I think it'll boost the game in England. I think it gives a lot more visibility, and obviously we've got friends in that team, Mido, Chloe, Les. So yeah, really, really chuffed to bits. And I think you're always proud of your friends, aren't you? And happy for them. But for English football, I think it'll be massive. I think it'll be huge.
It was a bit of a weird game, I thought, but it was weird because I had one of those feelings where I was just like, I think Arsenal will do it here. They had a couple of chances, I think.
Yeah.
When they brought Stina on, Black Stinia, she had a chance pretty much as soon as she came on. And I was like, she's done everything right there, except obviously not put the ball in the back of the net. And then obviously a few minutes later, then went on and scored.
Yeah.
Which was quite cool because obviously like her and Beth Mead came on at the same time. And then Beth got the assist and then Stina scored. So I think that's a cool moment for, kind of reminded me like the Euros when
that's really
Tony
nice.
and Les used to come on and just change the game completely.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But I think, yeah, like you said, I think it's massive for English football. And you know what? Their manager, Renee Sleggers, I don't know if I've got that right.
Yeah.
But fair play. Coming in halfway through the season, taking over as interim and then going on and winning Champions League final. I think that's something that deserves a lot of credit. But yeah, again, just obviously really pleased for Arsenal in terms of English football and getting them back on the map with winning the Champions League. Obviously, they were the last English team to win it, so it's quite a very big achievement. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, I think it also shows that other teams are now catching up and competing, and I think it's good for the women's game overall that there's more than just like Barcelona that are winning the Champions League or Lyon. It was Lyon for a long time, but I think it's good for the game. It shows that other teams are up and coming, and you never want it just to be kind of the same all the time. It's ruffled a few feathers, Arsenal winning, but I think it's good overall.
Yeah, because I think Barcelona, if they'd have won it, they'd have been 4 in the last 5. It's just, you want to break that cycle, don't you? So it's again really positive, and especially that it's an English team to do that.
Yeah, and it boosts everyone else now. It boosts everyone else and shows that it's possible, and that, like I said, teams are getting better and everyone's now competing. So I think overall it'll be really, really good for English football, but for women's football, and hopefully this is another spike to push everyone on and every league all over the world.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously you'll have seen Beth did the article on Players Tribune about losing her mum a few days just before the final, and knowing how hard that was for her, and you being there alongside me during the whole thing, I think it made that like moment a little bit sweeter for me that they won and she came on and assisted, because I feel like for me, like, grief is so different for everybody. Like, it hits you in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And obviously when I was going through literally the worst time of my life when I lost my dad, I came into camp 2 days later. Obviously we went through the journey with Beth and the time when her mum was getting treatment and things like that, and it was a really difficult point. Toonie, I know obviously more recently. I hate even having to speak about how many people this has happened to. It literally breaks my heart. But, I think people deal with it in such different ways. And for me, like, cracking on and just getting on with my life in that moment was something that I really needed to do.
And that's the thing, there's no script, is there?
Like, I remember you saying to me at the time, Rach, what are you doing? Like, why are you coming to camp? Like, you can't, like, you need to take some time away. And I think for me in that point, it was, I needed to do it there and then. But then I think the grief has hit me a lot later down the line. So I don't think there's no right or wrong way to deal with it and process it. But I think reading Beth's and Toonie's articles obviously hit home with me in a horrible way. But again, it's so good to see them two going on and shining.
Yeah. Like you said, it does make it extra special. And even from my point of view, I'm like, I've not been through that, so on the outside looking in, like, you want the absolute best for anyone that's you're close to, that you've seen go through that, probably the hardest thing to go through in life. Like, all you ever want is success, because you know that whether it's scoring that goal, winning that title, or winning that trophy, or even just even just being successful in life, or even just seeing them smile or be happy, like having those moments where they can bounce back, like as a friend, like that's, you know, it means that little bit more. It's not just winning the Champions League for Beth, like it's way more than that. And for anyone else, like you said, Toonie, as well. But it's, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is there is no script, there is no right or wrong. And even the way in which you lose those people, it's so different. Like some can be sudden, some can be, you know, like a bit of a period of time where you probably know what's coming, but still, how the hell do you prepare for that? Like you can't, you're never prepared for it. So it's like there's so many different factors. And I remember I was just saying to you, like, what do you need from it? Anything you need? Because I was like, all I know that I can do is be there for you. I can't.
And that's the thing, I think for me, that moment in my life was obviously the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And I felt like my whole world was crumbling down. I felt like, honestly, what's the point? Like,
yeah,
my dad just got taken away from me so quickly and so suddenly, out of, you know, pretty much out of the blue. And you think, you go through different like moments where you're like, how the hell am I going to survive this? Like, how do I get through this? And I think when I went into camp after that, although maybe it was probably too soon, but I think it was the right thing. But I feel like everything just almost lines up for you. Like everyone was, I learned so much about everyone. They literally became my family away from my family. That they were so good to me, all the girls, all the staff. And then I went on and scored in that same camp. And obviously I was playing at the back. So you remember that goal. And I then went on and had the best year of my career.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like bittersweet, because you want the people around you to be there to celebrate that with you.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, well, you go out and just sort of don't really have a care in the world. Like I always used to say to you, like, I've gone through the worst thing I'll go through.
Yeah.
What am I worried about my performance for? What am I worried about if we win or not? Like, you just kind of take all the pressure off, and you end up doing it for a bigger reason, and you do it to make the people that aren't there proud. And
yeah,
I think when I see how well Beth does and how well Toonie does, and, you know, people like Carly and Fran, and there's been so many people that it's happened to, and it's such an awful thing, but to see those people go on and do so well, it's like that extra bit of like pleasure for me, I think, because obviously I've lived through that. And say when Beth came on and she just posted that article and then came on and got the winning assist to win the Champions League, and you just know her mum's looking down, beaming with pride. And
100%.
I even I text her, I was like, my dad and your mum will be up there having a drink to celebrate your win today.
And then she had a picture with her dad after, and I was like, it makes me dead emotional.
Just puts things into perspective, really, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. And then I think when you see people like you're really close to go through, or you go through it yourself, it does hit a switch where you're like, I'm even worrying about that. Like, it's such a small thing. Like, since you went through that, I've always said things could be a lot worse. Every time I hit a bit of a stumbling block, I'm like, could be a lot worse. It's not a big deal. Move past it. And always just focusing on being happy. And yeah, like you said, you get one life, so you have got to like live it well, and just do things that make you happy. And if they don't make you happy, then don't waste time on it.
I think the most important thing for me was like realising who my support network was in that moment. Like,
did that shock you?
Yeah, I think so. But I think for me, I went through a really weird phase. I know I told you about it, but it's like you lose a person so close to you, and then everyone is there for you. Everyone's amazing. Everyone literally wants to do everything for you and support you in any way, shape or form. And then there's the period, then you have the funeral. And then it's like, I worked myself up for that day. It was like, okay, I've got like 2 weeks between this happening and this happening. And it was almost like, it's going to sound really deep, but like it was almost, the funeral's the final time. Like it kind of just, it was my way of being like, right, that's my time. Like, I need to like start my grief after that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't directly impact everyone's life. Like, it's my life. But in the moment you think like, why is no one asking me if I'm okay anymore?
Yeah, I get what it's like. It starts to fade away.
Do you know what I mean? It's like everyone's really there. Yeah, and then I went through a period of time being like, why is no one bothered now? Like, the funeral's gone. Is that it then? Apart from obviously the people you see, like the ones that are there. And I think that for me was so important to try and share my like insights on that with Beth and Toonie. And I know I keep saying about them too, but because it's been the most recent. And I think you sort of lean on those people, like when you're having a down day, you lean on the people that have kind of been there and lived it with you, albeit so different, and say grief is just so different. But I found that really hard. Like I remember saying to you, I'm like, why is no one asked anymore?
Yeah.
But they are. But it comes a point where people are not just going to keep asking you about it every single day, of course. Like, why would you? But because you're so like invested in your own life and your own, like you're dealing with all this trauma. And then it's like, well, why has the world not stopped? Because mine has.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
It is so hard. And on the flip side, I was like, all right, I need to check in with her, but I need to not like be pushing it on you. Because I was like, sometimes as well, when you're struggling, the last thing you want is someone to be like, are you okay? Like, obviously not. Like, you're obviously not okay. So I was like trying to do it in different ways, or might be sending you something, or like we'll tell people that are listening. Me and Rach have this emoji, right? And it's the pink hearts that are like hug. They almost look like they're hugging each other. So now when we feel like we need to send each other a hug, we send this emoji, which is like really, really cute. So it's just a different way of like, I'm checking in, but I'm not actually saying I'm checking in.
Yeah, I'm here.
And sometimes it's a little bit easier. So it's like finding little ways to, without saying, are you okay? To be like, are you okay?
That's what I mean. I think it's so important to find that and like what works for you. Because even now, like people will just say to me, like, your dad would be so proud. And literally, like, I just want to break down crying. Like, just something like that. Not like, are you okay? Like, how is everything? Like, just, your dad would be so proud. And that's literally all I've ever wanted to do. Like, make my family proud of me. And, you know, I think that it's little things, like you say, like the little pink hearts. And like, you're different. Like, you've been there for me through everything. Like, you've literally been, like, you've lifted me out of the ground.
We're literally soul friends. I was reading this the other day that you have a soulmate, a lover, but you have soulmates that are friends. Like we are. So I'm going to call it soul friends. I'm making a new name for it.
I like that.
But I remember you saying the other day as well, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and you were like, it just hits you at the most random times when you're like, you're on a high, like everything's fine, and then it's like, boom. Could be like a sign or a word or...
Literally the other day, I'm on holiday, everything is going amazing. I'm having the time of my life, obviously. I'm abroad, like living it up in the sun, like what could possibly go wrong? And I literally walked inside in like the middle of the afternoon and I just absolutely burst into tears. Like just broke down. Just because I was, you know me, with the butterflies. Like 2 butterflies flew past my face.
Signs.
And then like we went to like a live music thing, and music just does stuff to me anyway. Like it takes you to a place, doesn't it? And every single song I was just like, oh my God. And it was just like one of those days, and it had such a nice day, but I just lost it, like absolutely lost it.
That's your dad checking in. I was reading that as well, where people, they say, that's a coincidence. Nothing's a coincidence. Everything's a sign. So if people go, oh, that was such a coincidence, like that was the name of such and such, and it's not, like that's a sign of that person checking in and being like, I'm here, by the way, I'm still here. So it's like when you see the butterflies or the songs, which are like random picks, like, it might be a random song, but it's a way of people communicating. I do believe in all that, by the way. Like, yeah,
me too. But I also feel like it's really important to talk about stuff like this, because obviously it's difficult. It's like, I'll get off the phone call now and probably just go and sit in a ball and cry, but like
back my tears because I'm like, I can't look.
I'm trying to smile so that I don't cry, but it's like I think it's really important just to share. You know, like I said, no one's is the same. Like no way of dealing with grief is right or wrong. Like it's all personal to you, and
not feeling bad for those moments either. Don't feel bad for having a moment where you're like, if people don't, this is the thing, I think people need to like try and understand a little bit. Like if you had a little blip and you just let out your emotion, and I was like, oh, like, is everything, and you'd be like, oh, my dad. It's not then going, oh, like, and don't feel bad for it either. Like that is grief. There's no right or wrong. There's no script. There's no, oh, it's 2 years down the line, should be fine now. Like, no, it don't work like that. And like you said, it's important for people's stories to be shared so that people know that they're doing okay and you're doing a good job, like you're doing fine. It does hit you at the most random times, and it's just making sure you have, like you said, that support network and allow yourself to feel those things. Like it's part of life. You can't be happy 24/7.
Yeah, and I think like having to speak about it, it's weird because it feels quite refreshing to speak about it, because I've seen so many people go through the same sort of thing, and I don't think I've really had that like when it happened to me, I was like, I didn't really know about grief. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't know how to deal with it. And like I say, no way about dealing with grief is right or wrong. But for people to hear, if I can give 0.1% of like my grief and how I've dealt with it and who's been there for me and what techniques I've used, and someone can take anything out of that, then honestly, I think it's so important. I met somebody, I did that Villa season ticket thing when the person made that thing, but somebody had spoke to me. It was like right at the very end, I was literally leaving, about them losing one of their parents recently. And I stopped in my tracks. I was like rushing off. I needed to get back. And I just stopped in my tracks. And she was just like, your gratitude section of the podcast is what's got me through.
Wow.
And I was like, that's so nice, because she was like, it made me in that moment feel grateful for what I did have rather than what I didn't have. And I just was like, wow. Like it literally, I forgot to tell you about that, but that like touched me. I went into change room and I was just like, wow. Like it's just amazing like how something can lift you up and help you through something. And it might not be talking, it might not be, dealing with it. It's just how you want to deal with it. So I think it is important to talk about it. And I think it's really good what, Tony and Beth have done as well and spoke up about it, because it's not easy.
No, it's definitely not. And like I said, I'm proud of all of you for speaking out and for sharing your stories, because it will help people. There's people that think they're doing it wrong, and there's no answer. There is no right or wrong. You've got to almost find your own way and what your way of grief looks like. And I think that's the biggest message, is it's your way and that's it. There's no other way, and no one can ever tell you otherwise. So yeah, it's definitely needs to be spoken about more, and stories to be shared. And I think it's all within the right time as well. When you feel ready to speak, that's always been the thing I've waited for you to have, which I think you've always been quite open, to be honest, and you like sharing stories and talking about memories and stuff like that. And I think that's really good. But again, it doesn't work for everyone. So it's but it is really, really hard, like, to see people go through that. And yeah, I do not like seeing you upset at all. And if I had a magic wand, you know what I'd do with it.
Bless you. Bestie, I just wanted to touch on the fact that you're not at England camp at the minute. Me knowing you better than I know myself, I know it's been a little bit of a difficult period for you right now. I just want to see if you wanted to touch on anything about that. Are you okay?
Yeah. The normal Millie would say yes, but the new Millie that's trying to help people and be open and everything that we said we wanted to be on the pod, probably not in this moment. It's been really, really tough. I think mentally and physically, I'm probably at my limits, which is obviously why I'm not at camp, which is a really hard decision. But I think you know better than anyone as well. Sometimes you just have to take that time for yourself. And I think especially within the game that we play, there's a lot of pressures and, oh, you've got to go to camp, you've got to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. When actually, sometimes you just need to breathe, take a step back, value yourself and your mental health and my body, and just actually say, no, like right now is not the time for me. And right now, this is what's best for me. I'm also a big believer that if you're not in those two spaces 100%, then you're not going to achieve anything and you're not going to give the best version of yourself. So yeah, I think the most important thing for me right now was just to take a break, focus on, letting my body recover properly. And it's been a heavy season. I played a lot of football, and mentally just take time. Like, I don't think people see the pressures and the stress that goes on throughout a season. I think Chloe hit the nail on the head, which we've always said is, we are humans, we're not robots, we're not objects. At some point things will take its toll on you, and yeah, for me, I just needed time to breathe and switch off. So as always, not going to camp is gutting, but I think sometimes there's bigger things to life than sport, to put it bluntly. And right now, my mental health, it's something that I'm a big believer in. I don't play around with it. And yeah, physically, I need to look after myself. And I honestly just needed time to just breathe and have a bit of headspace.
You know what, though? I think that makes me so proud, because you're like me and will fight through anything. And you play with one leg and, you do anything to play, and especially for your country. But I think it takes such a lot out of you to make that decision to not do that and put yourself first. And yeah, I think we're both very similar in that sort of mindset. We'd go for a brick wall, but
Yeah.
so for you to take that decision, like I know you've not done that lightly, and you know you need this time right now to focus on you. And
Yeah.
I think we've learned so much in like the last few years, both you and I,
We
about
definitely have.
how important it is to put yourself first and your mental health and your mindset. It's such a difficult thing to do because, like you said, there's so many pressures externally to go internally, like as well, like just to be like, no, you need to do this and you need to do that and you've got to do this. And so to take a step back and have that breather, I'm so proud of you being able to do that.
Thanks, Bestie. It's just, and it's hard because obviously you have no one ever knows on the outside like what's truly going on and the factors that you know, are overcoming. So then that comes with opinions, and you know, if you start worrying about all those opinions, you'll never make the right decision for yourself. And yeah, I just feel like I've come to a point where I'm like, okay, I need to make the best decision for Millie. And for the first time, I've actually been selfish with that and made sure I've made myself a priority, because otherwise I never would. I would make everyone else, you know what I'm like, but that's at the detriment of me, my physical well-being and my mental well-being, and they're two things that I don't want to play around with. I feel like I'm just taking a little bit of meal time now, and yeah, just doing things that make me happy, surrounding myself with people that, you know, value me and care for me and want to help me. But ultimately just being able to breathe with no pressures and stress is the only thing that I need right now. And I'd like the most amazing season, but again, it's not been easy, it's been hard, and I think everyone always has a little tipping point, and I tolerate a lot, but I think I'm at my tipping point, and I feel like I just need to go.
Yeah, at some point though, you need to recharge your batteries. Like you can't run on empty forever, and you know, I think you've probably realised that in the last few weeks. And
yeah,
I think obviously I shared some of my feelings about going through similar things as you. So, Bestie, you've always got me here. Can I have some meal time as well?
Yeah. You can have as much as you want.
Get in.
So
right, that is a perfect little segue into gratitude.
I think so. Perfect timing.
Do you want to start or do you want me to?
I can start. My first gratitude, which I hope everyone's enjoying these, by the way, because me and Rach have found it really, really helpful, and the feedback has been amazing. And if you don't do your gratitudes, you should try it. Don't knock it till you've tried it, because it actually is a really nice way to just appreciate everything that you have rather than focusing on things that you don't have, which Rachel said earlier on in the episode, which I think stuck with me. So anyway, my first gratitude is having the weekend off, going back to my favourite place ever, standing at the top of the hill with Hallie, my pony, and just the view is incredible. The sun was down, there was like a bit of a storm behind me, and then the rainbow came out, and I was just like, it was one of the moments where I was like, life could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. These aren't big problems, Mill, you'll get through them, like they're fine. And that was just a real like your shoulders drop moment. So just being able to have that time to go back home. That being at the stables is like my sanctuary. There's just no noise, there's no one bugging me, it's just peaceful, the views, the animals, and then the rainbow. I was like, that was a little sign that, you know, what I'm doing and putting myself first is good. So gratitude number one, having the weekend at the stables.
Love that. I'm going to say moments, very similar to you, like moments of peace. They're very hard to come by in this day and age. And sometimes I'm looking for months and months and months to find that little moment of peace. But I think being on holiday and like being here, it's like a happy place for me. And waking up in the morning, right, making a coffee and sitting outside in the sun, it's like my favourite thing ever.
Should we get a holiday home?
Please, I've been looking this week, honestly.
Let's just get a holiday home and then we can just jet off every weekend.
Honestly. No, but I think, you know, usually in the morning you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't really want to get out of bed, I'm tired, like whatever. I like jump up out of bed when I'm here because I'm like, coffee, outside, in the sun, and it's just like bliss. So I'm grateful for little moments.
You don't want to
peace.
waste any moment, do you? I like that. No. I love that one. All right, my second gratitude, Nutella.
Oh yeah.
Pot of Nutella. You know, sometimes you just want a bit of Nutella. I want that little bit of sweetness, a little bit of goodness.
Yeah, but I can't just have a little bit. I don't end up eating the whole pot.
Do you know what is a lovely little snack? It's naughty though. Get a banana and you just get a little spoon.
Don't like bananas.
Well, anyone that likes bananas, try this. Get a banana.
No,
get a
but we do that. I used to do that. You know the little banana chips, like the frozen, like dried tomatoes. I like them.
Yes. Those banana
like
chips.
them.
We did that on a camp before. We
Yeah.
asked for loads of pots of Nutella and we were just scooping out the Nutella with the little banana chip. Bang it in, by the way. Anyone
Trying
that
to get a
wants it.
sugar hit from anywhere we can.
Yeah, get those in. Yeah, Nutella.
Nice.
Oh, just
Love
perks
that.
me up and I'm like ready to attack the day. Let me go.
Love it. I love it. My next one, okay. Not many people are going to know about this because I put it on my close friends, but my journey that this has been on this week with a frog. Like, I am so grateful for little Freddie. So for no one that knows this, because I've put it on my close friend's story on Instagram, there was like a 12-part series of the frog, wasn't there?
Yeah. I was so intrigued. I was like, oh, another story. It's Fred. It's
So
Fred.
many people messaged me back and were like, oh my God, I can't, this is the best series I've ever watched. Like, keep it coming. So basically, I was here one day and a frog was in the pool. And I was like, oh my God, there's a frog in the pool. So I thought, right, well, what do you do? I don't think they should be in the pool. Like,
No,
it's
they shouldn't be in
chlorine
the
and
pool.
they belong in ponds. So I was like, right, we need to save this. So we got the big net out. Sarah's granddad, well, I tried to get it out, couldn't get it. Sarah got it in the net. Sarah's granddad went to take it down. We walked down to the pond, flicked him into the pond, right? Half an hour later, he's back. On the top step, I was like, how? Where? Like,
Sure it weren't
honestly,
his brother?
Well, so there's been multiple, but this one was the same one. I was like, how have you just hopped across the golf course, managed to get back into the pool without me seeing you? So he comes along, he keeps disappearing, coming back. Then there's this bright green one that's just appeared out of nowhere. Like, it's like a frog's, literally frog city in that pool. So I've actually been really grateful for Freddie the frog this week because he's really entertained me.
Yeah, he's entertained me as well. I've been watching.
Yeah. So I
Cheers,
think a lot of
Fred.
people have been entertained by Freddie. So I'm grateful for him giving me that entertainment this week. So that's number 2.
Number 3, third gratitude. Oh, you know what? The other day we had a storm and I love storms.
Oh God, I hate storms.
I love thunder, I love lightning, I love just laying on my bed and listening. That's the only
I'm
thing.
petrified of thunder and lightning.
I know, I'm your thunder buddy.
You are.
But I've
you,
been-
thunder.
Thunder. I really tried to I struggle I struggle making my brain calm, I struggle getting my head to just chill and
Switch
100
off,
miles per
yeah.
hour. When there's a storm, I can lay there and just get out my head. So when
Yeah,
it's
it's
storm,
nice, good. I'm glad
like,
you can find that.
It's therapeutic. So if England could just storm a little bit more at this moment in
No,
time.
don't. Just put storms and white noise on your phone, will you? Don't be getting that.
But it was just seeing the room light up and then it was nice. I really, really needed that the other day. So yeah, that is my gratitude, the storm. It's
Nice. Okay, my last one, Lilos. Yesterday was absolutely red hot here. Like, you know me, I can lay in the sun. Like, I love the heat, love the sun. But I was getting so hot and bothered, Millie. Like, I was laying there, I was like, oh, I'm too hot. I'm too hot. It was just no breeze, nothing. So I pumped up Lilo and got in the pool and it saved me yesterday. So I'm really grateful for that moment because I was laying there, you know, one of the ones with the back with the head. And I was just like chilling. And
Don't you think they're a bit dangerous though? Because you can get lost in time and you can just be there for hours and be like, holy shit, I've not put any sun cream on. I've been on here for hours.
we said that and I was like laying there and close your eyes and you don't know where you are. You don't know what part of the pool you are.
Not at
But
all.
3 good ones there for both of us, I think.
Yeah,
but
they
yeah,
were.
guys, get amongst it. We love doing this. That's it for the Rest is Football Daily Brightness.
Thanks so much, guys. Please keep sending in your questions. You can email it to dailybrightness@goalhanger.com or you can use the hashtag dailybrightness on social media. We look forward to your questions. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.